Hey everybody, this is Miss Kent with week 3, day 2 of math. I hope everyone is doing well. If you have any questions, please give me a call or send me a message on Seesaw. I know the math is getting a little challenging and I hate that I can't be there to work with you one-on-one. And it's hard. It's hard for Miss Kent to try to teach this over the phone. So I know it's hard for you to try to understand it. So just do your very best. And make sure that you're getting outside and enjoying the weather, but you're still social distancing. Today we're going to continue to talk about fractions on a number line, and we're going to continue to talk about that number line starting with 0 and ending with 1, okay? We drew the tape diagrams in the last video and related that to a number line, so I'm going to start with that, but then we're just going to take that tape diagram away. Go ahead while I'm getting up to draw this first one and get yourself a piece of scratch paper and a pencil, something to write with. If you have your toolbox, there's paper in there that you can use because you might want to keep this scratch paper. It might help you when you get started on your work. So go get that. If you need to stop the video, please do so. Okay, so today I'm going to be I'll try to get y'all a little bit closer here. I'm going to be given a fraction to place on the number line, and I have to figure out where does that fraction go on the number line, okay? Where does it go on the number line? So first I have my number line, and my number line starts with a 0, and it ends with a 1. And today I'm going to start with a fraction, 2/3. Where would 2/3 appear on my number line? Well, I know on this number line, if I'm going to be dividing it in thirds, 1 whole would be represented by 3/3, and 0 would be represented by 0/3. Now I need to divide this into thirds, and I don't feel confident enough yet to just divide a number line. So I'm going to use my tape diagram. How many pieces do I need? 3. And really my tape diagram should line up with this, but I'm doing the best I can. 3 pieces. Each piece represents a third. That's right. Okay. So I'm supposed to be labeling 2/3, but I just don't want to just go out there and label that one spot because I need to see the other spots. I'm very visual in my learning. And I know I need to put a line here and a line here. 0/3, this represents 1/3. This represents 2/3. So here's the spot, and I want to put a little point there that I'm supposed to be labeling on my number line. Where it's 2/3, it's right there. Now I want you to remember that line is not 2/3. That line represents where each of these pieces kind of stops. Here's 1/3. Here's 2/3. That represents where 2/3 is located on the line, but this is actually the fraction, and those are definitely not equal. I'm going to draw a number bond to represent this, 1 whole. Now I labeled 2/3. What portion of my whole is left? 1/3. Because 2/3 plus 1/3 equals 1 whole. Okay, let's look at another one. And I want you on your scratch paper to go ahead and draw a tape diagram. Under your tape diagram, I want you to draw a number line. And we'll do a little bit better about making sure my number line starts and ends at my tape diagram. This is going to be 0 and 1. This time on my number line, I want to label where 3/4 is located. So how many pieces do I need to divide my tape diagram into? 4 pieces. That good landmark half, because half of a half is a fourth. Each one of these pieces represents a fourth. So now I can come back and I can fill in those pieces on my number line. So I have 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So this 0 actually represents, 0/3, 0/4, 1/4. Remember, this piece is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then 4/4. If I was going to draw a number bond for this one, I have 1 whole, 3/4 plus 1/4 equals 1 whole. And I want to draw a point there. That when you put a dot on a number line, that's considered a point. I keep calling these number lines because they do have arrows on them. A number line continues on. A line segment would not have the arrows on it. So it's important that you understand if we're talking about a number line, it should always have the arrows on it because it continues. A line segment has no arrows. And some of you might remember, what is this one called? It's called a ray. A ray has a starting and no end point like the rays of the sunshine. Okay. Oh, I lost my eraser. It's even worse than the classroom here at home because I've just got a big old pile of mess at home and I can't find anything at home. Oh, well, here's an eraser. Okay. Let's look at another one. Every week I kind of try to organize my home stuff, and then every week it gets just all messed up again. Okay. This time, I want you to draw your number line first. We're going to have to start transitioning away from that tape diagram. I want you to put a 0, and I want you to put a 1. Okay. Now on this number line, we're going to be labeling 5/6. Now this sure does look scary. Urgh. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to lightly, and it's hard for me to do this with a dry erase. I'm going to do this. You don't have to dot, but just lightly make that tape diagram. You can barely see mine. Let me pull your camera real close. You see how I just lightly made that? I wish I could get my camera a little bit closer, you guys, but the way there we go. So I lightly made that tape diagram because that tape diagram helps me understand the number line. This ruler, even though it's a number line, is more like a tape diagram. Okay, how many pieces do I need on my number line? I'm going to need 6 pieces. So can I half 6? Yes. So I can start with that landmark half. Because I can half 6, I know I need 3 on each side. Not 3 lines. This is where it gets tricky. I need 3 pieces. So let's look. I have 1, 2, 3 pieces. I need 3 more pieces, not 3 lines. 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. So I'm going to make absolutely sure I only have 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, you see how I just drew the line there, but I was imagining in my mind drawing that. Okay? Where would I put my dot on 5/6? Well, let's number these. This would be 1/6. This would be 2/6. This would be 3/6. 4/6. 5/6. And 6/6. I typically on my number line don't number label this 0/6, but if you like to, you can. So on my number line, this is where I could find 5/6. Now, if you did that tape diagram very lightly, you can erase it so you can see your number line forming. And over here with my number bond, I would have 1 whole is equal to 5/6 plus 1 more 6. Okay, that tape diagram is something we're so familiar with. We use it daily in the classroom. But when we're doing a number line, we're actually going to have to step back a little bit from that tape diagram. However, I'm going to show you another way, too, that you can use your paper that already has a number line on it to help you. So the first one I did was I did the little just made a little trace around it. I want you to go ahead on your scrap paper. Go ahead and make you a number line again. Going to end with 1 and start with 0. So let's say we've got our workbook sheet, and this is what we're seeing, is this lovely number line. And the problem says, I want you to label, 3/8. I don't know if we've already done that one today. I don't think so. 3/8. And I like that tape diagram. Here's another way that you can use your pencil to make that tape diagram. You can actually turn the number line into a whole tape diagram if you'd like. Now I'm doing dots, but you could just be kind of lightly making that with your pencil where it would be easy to erase. Okay. So I have literally made my number line inside the tape diagram. Now what do I need to divide this into? How many pieces? 8. Does 8 have a halfway point? I divided 8 in half. Oh, 4. So I can actually divide this in half. And look, I'm going to go ahead and divide it all the way like I'm dividing my tape diagram. You see how I went? If I divided it in half, I have to have 4 on this side and 4 on this side. Does that mean I need 4 lines on each side? No, I need 4 pieces. So let me see. Hey, can I have 4? I sure can. So let me half these 4 pieces into 2 pieces. Now I can half those 2 pieces. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now I got 4 pieces over here and I can half 4. Now I'm going to go back and make sure I have all my pieces. But you know what? I don't want to count all those pieces. I don't want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I am going to say 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. Now as I'm writing these, I'm thinking 1/8, that piece, not the line. 2/8, that piece. 3/8, I'm going to shade this in. So here's 1/8. 2/8, I'm looking at the pieces. 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. Do I have 8 pieces? Yes, because I have a hole. On my number line, it asked me to locate 3/8. Right there's 3/8. Is that line 3/8? That line 3/8? No, that line represents what fraction of this number line is 3/8, and it represents this portion. Now, if I was going to write this as a number bond, my whole would be 1. I got to 3/8. How many more 8s do I need to get to 8/8? 5/8. 3 and 5 make 8. 3 and 5 make 8. Now both of these are great ways to transition into just straight using the number line, whether you decide to make your tape diagram around or just kind of above. It really doesn't matter either way because you're still using the number line. The number line, okay? Let's look at today's problem of the day. Sorry guys, I have it all saved on my computer and I have to scroll all the way up. And then it's so tiny when I look at it. Okay, so I'll erase my board. Keep your scratch work because you might be able to use it as you're doing your worksheets or your work online. Might be able to reflect back on what we just did. Okay, today's problem says, in baseball, and I know some of you are really missing baseball right now. I'm missing the popcorn at baseball. In baseball, it is 30 yards, and YDS is the abbreviation from yards, from home plate to first base. Okay, and for, home plate's where you would start if you were going to hit the ball and you run to first base. You have to tap it first. You can't just run to second. You have to go to first, second, third, then back to home plate. You have to go in that order. The batter got tagged out. The batter got tagged out halfway to first base. So the batter's running. He gets halfway to first base and he gets tagged out. I want you to stop now and think, what could my question be? What kind of question could I have here? Okay. There could have been a lot of questions here, but remember, we can only ask a question that we have the information for. Because I could ask this question like, how hot was it at the baseball game? Am I going to be able to answer that question with the information I have? No. Maybe my question might be, how old was the player? Were they playing t-ball? Could I answer that question using the information I have? No. So if you had a question like that, stop the video again and think of your question. Okay, a question I would have here, and some of you might have come up with another question because a lot of times we have multiple questions with the problems people come up with and they're all good questions. A good question here would be, how far was he from home plate? You might have also said, how much further did he have to go to get to first base? You could have said a lot of things. I want you to draw a number line, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a number line for you. And you're going to draw one too. I want you to draw your number line and show me the point where he got tagged out. So here's home plate. Here's first base. I want you to draw this number line and put a dot on it where he got tagged out. You can stop the video now. Miss Kent's going to run over here and check on Cora and Jack, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just wanted you to draw the point, and we said what? He was 30 yards from home plate. There's 30 yards from home plate to first base. He got tagged out halfway. So you should have done your best to put a dot right here where he got tagged out, because he got tagged out halfway. Now we need to look at how far was he? How far was he? What is the distance between home plate and first base? Well, we know that is 30 yards. Hey, I want to think about like my tape diagram here. Should use a different color. When I think of my tape diagram, I think about the hole, and here the hole is 30 yards. Hey, he got halfway, so my number line is actually divided in half, which means my tape diagram is divided in half. If I have 30, what would I do there? Stop the video now and see if you can figure out how far was he from home plate. Okay, and I probably did a little too much for you on this problem and didn't give you guys enough time to figure it out on your own, but we're just starting on these number lines. Okay, here's home plate. 0 yards. It's supposed to be a 0. It looks like O. Here's first base. It's 30 yards away. As a whole, this is a 30-yard stretch. Halfway. What would this side have to be in this side? Well, I'm going to think about it like this equation. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So this piece is 15 yards. And this piece is 15 yards. So to go back and answer my question, how far was he from home plate? He was 15 yards from home plate. 15 yards from home plate. I hope that this fractions on a number line lesson helped you out a little bit with your work. If you have any questions, as usual, feel free to give me a call or send me a message on Seesaw, and I will do my very best to help you. If you're in Miss Krista Foley's or Miss Stendelbeck's class, you can also contact them. Have a great day.